Hi everyone, Ryan and Mike here, and today we're talking about sponsored content. And as I'm out on the street selling with publishers, advertisers, Mike, are always looking for great ways to integrate with our websites. And for publishers that want to get started in the sponsored content space, can you show some simple ways to get started?
Yeah, actually it's quite easy. But first, let me just say, at its most basic, the idea of sponsored content is creating content that's compelling for your readers, that ties into your advertisers. So basically, what we're talking about on the website itself is to create articles that then somehow promote your advertisers. So what I have here as an example is an article we're calling Children's Health. And I'm tying this into a fictitious business, which is a clinic called Mount Zion. The idea is that you're writing content that promotes this advertiser. It could be in the form of a review, depending on the type of advertiser. It could be an article about something that's related to kind of research they do, in this case, a hospital. And in our system, we use something called a review. And it's not a review specifically like you're reviewing, like you would do a restaurant, but it makes the connection with the advertiser's listing. And so here at the bottom, you'll see the advertiser is called out. And then if you click on that, it will take your readers to the listing, the paid listing that an advertiser has bought in your site. It also highlights different articles that you may have written about the same advertiser, which would be a direct review of the advertiser. So let's say it's a restaurant or a chain of restaurants or something like that. That might be an interesting way to do it. Or you can do it on topics related to something that that business does. In this case, health-related issues, maybe some research in pediatric medicine that Mount Zion does. It's a nice marriage between content about something that's interesting to your readers, but also promoting the work being done by one of your advertisers. And it's a really nice way to tie in this rich content you're creating and promote the advertiser in a way that brings value to the home.
That makes perfect sense. So how on the main page could we drive users or readers over to this content?
Well, on the main page, I have an example here, which is a sprocket that's randomly selecting various sponsored content. And I called it out by putting a title on the top, which is sponsored, so that this is basically an industry best practice to make sure that your readers are aware that this is sponsored content. It doesn't diminish from the effectiveness, but it's just something that is typically done, and I suggest that you do it. And on this, you're showing different articles that have been written. So for example, when your user clicks on that, it takes them back to the article, and then you have the association with an advertiser that you've created. So it creates this nice connection between the two in a way that brings value to what you're providing for your readers and your advertiser.
That's outstanding. It's simple, it's straightforward, and easy to execute on. I think that advertisers are absolutely going to really love it. So folks, be looking for more videos on this topic coming soon.